Hello, Pickaholics. Okay, take two. I had an unfortunate, I did a picking video and a gutting video of this challenge lock, and I found out I was in slow-mo. And I know you guys weren't gonna watch 40 minutes of slow motion picking and gutting of a lock. This is Angry Dimple from Peaceweapon. It's challenge lock number 5. This is a dimple. So, as you've heard, I've just recently picked it again. This was my first and my only dimple lock I have picked to date. And I have to reset everything because I was all set and ready, and now I had completely gutted this thing, and I figured it out, put it all back together. It took me 2 minutes to pick and 10 minutes to gut it. And then I had to put it all back together again. It was my first time ever gutting a dimple, which was kind of interesting and fun all at the same time. And it's so interesting to me. These locks you pick reverse of your tension, and I think I was on warding there. Now I'm all flustered. Let me get rid of that one. Dimples are like learning a new language. They are fun, interesting, and different. Let's set you in there. But they pick pretty much the same as you used to. This lock is really pretty on the inside. There we go. A little bit longer this time, but very respectable. Let's lock this back up. The way he told me that this was to be gutted was through the top cap, and I can't seem to get the top cap off, so I had to gut this like traditional. So I was learning as I was going and being extra cautious on this. Destroyed one shim. Let's get this here. So I'm just gonna do it the way that I did it before, because now I know exactly how to pull it apart, shim it, not worry about this actually has a little centering ball bearing and spring, so I'm not as afraid of it. Now has an E-clip, which is actually the stop point for the key, and it's these last 4 cuts. This first cut isn't in play. It's these 2 highs and the 2 lowers. So you have to put this into the right spot to get it to turn. And I didn't seem to have too much trouble finally once I figured out how to get this in. This is actually kind of tight in there. This would be so much easier to go through the top, through the Bible cap, but oh no, destroyed another shim. Come on, I may need a new shim. It's falling apart on me. They've all got creases in them. Shims. I used a brand new shim the other day on a lock with some lighter springs and absolutely destroyed it. There we go. Come on. Go all the way in. There we go. Okay, returned that way. Anybody who gets it this way, pay attention to your orientations. I always forget, don't put any pressure on the key. I'm so used to holding keys in place as I get things. And when I put pressure on the key, it moves the bottom pins in the plug because it does not have the stop point for it anymore. But I promise that I will do this a little bit quicker than the last time because I'm not as afraid of it now that I've done it once. Let's get you out of there. This lock is actually pretty amazing in the pins that Peaceweapon has put in here. So this is our bitting, 2 lows, high, and higher. Every chamber is threaded. We have a reduced top, kind of tapering effect with a serration on it on 1, an overset trap on 2. Number 3 has a kind of a tapering with an overset. Here's the pretty one. I'll show you guys that one in a minute. That is a fun bottom pin. I never kicked it into the overset trap because then it would be really confusing. And number 1 is a drunken serrated spool with a master wafer and a spring. Number 2 is a 2-piece pin with a serrated outer sleeve and an inner spool element to go into that. Let me go backwards. Number 3 is another drunken spool. Excuse me, number 4 is another drunken spool. There we go. Put the springs in incorrect on this. You always want those nice tight wounds on your pins, not the cut ones that people have put in there. And number 3 is a little serrated tipped T-pin. Yeah, I didn't muck this up as badly, and it took a whole heck of a lot less time this time. So let's grab a pick. Let's get some better light. There we go. So 1 has the reduced top serrated with a serrated drunken spool with the wafer above it. Number 2 has that little overset serration trap with a 2-piece pin that actually goes into that one. Number 2 is a serrated overset trap. You know what? Number 3, I don't think it does. We're gonna find something out. Number 3 is that little, almost like a gin-lipped serrated, and then you've got this drunken spool on top of that, and then this bottom pin is actually a 2-piece pin. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking at this number 3 as I fling it across the table. It just had the look of that maybe that top piece was a separate piece for a 2-piece pin on that, but it's not. It's a 1-piece pin. Let's put that back in place, and we put it in upside down. So this is, sorry, I keep bumping the camera and I can't stop it. Angry Dimple by Peaceweapon. Challenge lock number 5. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to pass this on to Cajun Lockpick, who's been working on some dimples. Have a good evening, Pickaholics.